All right, now we have Mike Daley in, and I know there's been some question as to how many times you're allowed to come into the studio. So I just wanted to, in full disclosure, explain how we came to this, and I do this because I have it's been no secret and full disclosure that I've done work for Daley's campaign when it comes to creating commercials.
Correct.
Therefore, there is a bit of a cloud, so I just wanted to be very clear and how this process went down.
Right. So Stephanie called me yesterday, and she mentioned, I just talked to Mike Daley. He'd like to come back on the show. And is this something that we can do? And I kind of had some concerns because you've been on several times. There's been a back and forth with yourself and Jeff Carpenter. I was leaning toward not having you come back in. So I reached out to you. I called you. You were pretty upset about the fact that Mr. Carpenter repeatedly called you a liar, and you felt that you wanted to defend yourself against that. We wanted to give you the opportunity to do that. You mentioned another case as well. Obviously, the listeners are aware this has kind of gone with this back and forth of you make a claim, you say something, and then he comes on and says, no, it's not true. And here was my thought process or my decision-making, and then you'll come on and say something else. So we wanted to give you the opportunity to really defend yourself against the claim that you are a liar. And as you said to us here walking in, liar, liar, pants on fire.
So that was so that is how the process to you coming on the program went. That's what you guys went through. I just like it to be known I have nothing to do with that. I completely removed myself from those, and I've told you that it's not anything to do with me. You got to go directly with Manansky because I can't be a part of that. So it is what it is.
I can just say that I'll echo that. Oftentimes we'll have discussions about things, and I wanted to talk to Bill about it, and your take was basically I'm out
of this. I have to remove myself from it. So with that said, you took issue with the fact that he said that you've lied.
Well, and for a number of reasons. First of all, every time that I cite a fact, it's as a result of meticulous research. Beginning in January or early February, I researched through FOIL requests, Freedom of Information requests, all of the information that is provided either on my Facebook, on my interviews here, or on my website. I researched every county budget from 1993 to the present. So I have those figures. They're accurate. I researched the entire Stop DWI files from my term there and from Carpenter's term there. I physically counted every case pending for the first 4 years of Carpenter's administration, and there are 438 cases pending in local criminal court on DWIs as of January 1st of this year. That's inexcusable and indisputable. I also foiled every jail booking, the time that they spent in jail, and when they were released. I went through thousands and thousands of documents in order to get those figures. Those figures are accurate. I went through all the transports. So when I say there were prisoners that were being transported back and forth to local criminal court 8 and 10 times without any resolution from counties such as Montgomery County or Lewis County or Oneida County, it's because I've done the research. I've been an attorney for 38 years, 39 years. Nobody has ever called me a liar. I was a prosecutor. My word is my bond. I was a judge. I believe I was a fair judge, and nobody has ever called me a liar. And what particularly upset me, and I had this conversation with you, Jeff, was you asked me after my last appearance here to provide you with the law on a couple of cases where I believed he actually violated the statutes in order to avoid a trial. I provided that to you.
Right.
That subject didn't even come up when Jeff Carpenter was on.
And I thought about that when you said that, and I don't remember us asking him that question. Let me ask you this.
Was it on the list of questions that was provided, though?
Yes, it was.
I thought we went
through the list.
I thought we did. But let me ask you this. You make the claim that, refresh my memory here, are we talking about the illegal plea bargaining, or are we talking about the individual who was responsible for someone's death, and I believe you said got probation? I can't remember off the top of my head.
It's one and the same.
The same case. So explain what you're saying.
Michael Leach committed a murder up in Old Forge. He was indicted on murder in the second degree.
This is a former police officer.
Former police officer.
From not
Rochester.
Herkimer County. Yeah,
From
outside the
Rochester.
area. And I believe his son was the victim.
His son was the victim.
Okay.
But clearly it was a murder. The grand jury indicted him. Sometimes family members kill family members. The defendant puts in a psychiatric defense. Psychiatric defense is, I committed this murder, but I'm not responsible because I have a mental disease. And as a result of that mental disease, I can't be found guilty. The defendant is then examined by two psychiatrists, one for the defense, one for the prosecution. Both of those psychiatrists come back and say, this guy's criminally insane.
Okay.
All that's left are two options. One, you can allow a jury to determine whether he's criminally insane or goes to prison for 25 to life, or he can plead guilty but not responsible. If he's found not responsible either by a jury or by the court, he must then be sentenced to a secure psychiatric facility until the state realizes or agrees that he's no longer criminally insane.
Okay.
Even if the defendant were just indicted for murder, there are plea restrictions. These plea restrictions are put in place back in the late 70s, early 80s to control either lazy or incompetent prosecutors and or judges. If you're indicted on murder, the very least you can plead to under the statute, and I provided these to you, is a Class C violent felony, which carries anywhere up to 15 years in state prison. Carpenter allows him to plead to criminally negligent homicide, a nonviolent Class E felony, and sentences that he agrees to, sentences him to probation. It's in violation of at least two statutes, and he puts a guy who he knows is a insane murderer back in the community. That's just crazy town.
So I believe you provided a sheet as well. It was an Observer Dispatch article where there was a quote from Jeff Carpenter that said something to the effect of, I hope this doesn't happen again, or if he doesn't get help, this might happen again.
I believe his quote, and he's quoted, it's not just, but he's quoted in the paper saying something to the effect that, I hope he gets the help he needs, because if he doesn't, this could happen again. He's acknowledging the fact that this guy is criminally insane.
You feel that obviously he should have gone to a facility if that was really the case until the state deemed that he was able to rejoin society?
I had a similar case when I was district attorney in Herkimer County. We tried the case. The jury found that, in fact, he wasn't criminally insane. He got 25 years to life. You do your job, and part of that job is to ensure that we do not get back in our community people such as this.
All right, I want to obviously, Mr. Carpenter is going to have the opportunity to respond, and
I welcome his response.
I'm assuming that would end the back and forth here as we're getting close to Election Day. But the other thing I wanted to mention is you have signs all over the place that are down, and by no means am I implying that this is coming from an opponent by any means. We're not implying that, but somebody is going after your signs, and there's one on Higbee that I see go up, and then it's back down. And then the wood is stronger, it seems. It goes up, and then it goes back down. You got like 4x4s that have been cut in half. It looks like somebody drove over this one.
You got to use steel for your next one there.
Wow, I mean, they're secured with 2x4s in the ground.
Yeah,
and
there's no way wind knocked that. There's just no way. The same sign over and over again.
Strong wind up on Higbee, though.
It is strong wind on Higbee.
You're going to laugh at me.
Yeah.
What if you got a billboard? Do you remember this conversation? There was one other issue, though, and we had talked about this on the phone yesterday, and you were wondering why I didn't question Mr. Carpenter on this. I'll let you explain what you're saying regarding there was a SWAT investigation that Herkimer Police did. It was found by the state. They did a surprise inspection, And I guess I'll let you take it from there.
Actually, what occurred was there was a tactical training course that was conducted by a sergeant on the Herkimer Police Department.
Okay.
He certified officers as being qualified for a tactical squad for various departments. I believe there were 8 different police departments and
a sheriff's
office.
Yep.
When they got their certificates, these police officers went to their chiefs and to the sheriff, and the sheriff was here in Oneida County, and said, look, we never completed this course. They report it to DCJS, which is the gold standard for Jeff Carpenter when he cites anything as far as statistics. DCJS does an investigation and finds, in fact, and it's contained within the report, and the report's been out for over a year, finds that the sergeant in the Herkimer Police Department forged the signatures of the police officers while claiming that they had completed the course. Then he files with the state false certificates saying that they have completed this course and are qualified. Mm-hmm. And when DCJS comes to do their investigation, the sergeant went to the individual police officers, and I've talked to a number of them, and asked them to lie and cover up for him. That is a report that has been in the hands of the district attorney's office for over a year, and he's done absolutely nothing. And that's one of the reasons is because, and this is when I referred to the good old boy system on one of my other appearances, that's the good old boy system. It doesn't matter what you did, it matters who you know. And that is what I believe is going on.
I have 2 questions. One is, I did read the report, the full foil in the report. There was some question as to whether then Police Chief Malone actually reported this to the mayor, I don't know, is it the Herkimer Board, the council, I don't
Village Board.
The Village Board, and higher-ups.
I believe
you're saying that you believe that was reported to the DA's office.
I know for a fact, because I've had the discussions with the mayor, that they have been after Jeff Carpenter for a very long time to try and initiate some kind of grand jury proceeding, and he just refuses to do it.
My second question is, based on the report that I read, this sergeant was suspended for 1 week without pay. For 40 hours. There's a whole nother set of circumstances that was unfolded there. But how can he be punished a second time? I guess that's my question. He can't, can he?
Well, he can't under their contract. Once he's punished under the contract, that my understanding is that's just like double jeopardy. He cannot be punished again. However, if he's committed crimes, and clearly if you read the report, there sure is an indication that there's multiple crimes having been committed here. That does not restrict the district attorney from going forward with a criminal case. It just doesn't.
Why isn't someone, I don't mean someone else, why hasn't the state asked that this particular sergeant be prosecuted, indicted, something like that, in that case, and regarding what you claim is the illegal plea bargaining of the murder, or the death case? I'll call it the death case. I don't want to mislabel it. How is the state not stepping in saying something needs to be done? Why is it you who are calling attention to it?
I can't speak for the state, but I can tell you this, that the information on both of those is public information. That, in fact, I don't believe the DCJS has the ability to charge the officer. I believe DCJS has made many inquiries as to why nothing is being done. That information has been provided to me through the mayor's office. And
on the illegal plea bargain, though, is there some type of review board, some type of...
Constitutionally, you're entitled to double jeopardy. So even if it's an illegal plea, unless somebody appeals it, and the only one that would appeal an illegal plea would be the district attorney's office, because obviously the defendant's not going to appeal it.
Sure.
And Jeff Carpenter he accepted the illegal plea, and he's not going to appeal it. So there's no review. And that's just part of the problem, is this office is run basically on a secretive. If a prosecutor such as myself didn't come in and look at these records, would anybody in Herkimer County or in Oneida County or anywhere know there was a problem in a district attorney's office? The answer is no, they would not. And they fly under the radar. They don't want anybody looking into their information. And when I started looking into the information, they went into a tailspin. But you'll notice that Jeff Carpenter has not said one time what it is that I'm lying about. He hasn't.
All right. We'll leave it at that. Mike Daley, we appreciate your time.
I appreciate the opportunity.